Now We Are Six. Poems by A. Milne. Narrated by Sara Nichols and Kevin Theis. Introduction. When you are reciting poetry, which is a thing we never do, you find sometimes, just as you're beginning, that Uncle John is still telling Aunt Rose that if he can't find his spectacles, he won't be able to hear properly. And does she know where they are? And by the time everybody's stopped looking for them, you are at the last verse, and in another minute they'll be saying, thank you, without really knowing what it was all about. So, next time you are more careful, and just before you begin, you say, ahem, very loudly, which means, now then, here we are, and everybody stops talking and looks at you, which is what you want. So then, you get in the way of saying it whenever you're asked to recite, and sometimes it's just as well, and sometimes it isn't, and by, you find yourself saying it without thinking. Well, this bit, which I'm writing now, called Introduction, is really the ahem of the book, and I put it in partly so as not to take you by surprise, and partly because I can't do without it now. There are some very clever writers who say that it's quite easy not to have an ahem, but I don't agree with them. I think it is much easier not to have all the rest of the book. What I want to explain in the introduction is this. We have been nearly 3 years writing this book. We began it when we were very young, and now we are 6. So, of course, bits of it seem rather babyish to us, almost as if they had slipped out of some other book by mistake. On page whatever it is, there's a thing which is simply 3-ish, and when we read it to ourselves just now, we said, well, and turned over rather quickly. So, we want you to know that the name of this book doesn't mean that this is us being 6 all the time, but that is about as far as we've got at present, and we half think of stopping there. A.M. P.S. Pooh wants us to say that he thought it was a different book, and he hopes you won't mind, but he walked through it one day looking for his friend Piglet and sat down on some of the pages by mistake.
Solitude. I have a house where I go when there's too many people. I have a house where I go when no one can be. I have a house where I go when nobody...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?